Hey guys, Keith here from Restore GT with Denise Coyne here.
Hi again.
We are doing a follow-up to our last video showing you guys how Council President was trying to basically stop our freedom of speech and ordering the police department to basically violate our First Amendment rights. So we thought the follow-up video was in order. It seems to be a topic that people are interested in. So Denise, what did you want to bring up here today?
Well, I do have to make a small correction. I don't think Orlando ordered the police department to do anything.
Asking them.
Yeah, he doesn't have the power
ordering
to do that. I think the police department's under the mayor and not under Orlando. So Orlando asked the police to patrol the parking lot to prevent us from, or prevent that from basically happening again. So.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I guess that's fair enough. But asking with the authority that you have is basically an intimidation factor, which is basically part of the point of this follow-up. That this is not the first time.
Yeah, most people watching aren't going to know that Orlando doesn't have the power to do that, but that's the reality. So, so yeah, you know, could it have been intimidation? Absolutely. And like we said before, that does seem to be a
reoccurring theme.
Yeah, a reoccurring theme. So, and to follow up, I actually sent in an Oprah request regarding the eGov that was supposedly sent in by this Giselle Brown, asking for a copy of that because normally eGovs are sent in via the township's website, and there's a form that you fill out, and in order to submit the form you have to provide your address.
Right, it won't allow you to send it without your address on there. And eGov, just so everybody knows, is a thing that's specific to Gloucester Township. This isn't like a statewide program that everyone in any town is aware of. This is something specific to Gloucester Township. So this particular person did not use the eGov system, however sent in an email prior to the deadline, which most people wouldn't know that there's a deadline also for it, through an email with eGov as the subject of it.
Of the email, correct. And the deadline to submit an eGov question for the council meeting that night is 12 noon. And this email was received by the clerk at 11:59. And there was no address sent on the email. So the clerk responded to this Giselle Brown and asked her to please provide her address for the records, and she got no response.
Right, there was no response sent, and the address being read is a very important part of that whole process. You know, even if you go up to ask a question in person, always ask your address, and that you have to give a response to it.
We now have a GTE.gov access email. This is from Denise Coyne at 1060 Chews Landing Road, Gloucester Township, New Jersey. From Deborah Canty at 223 Cherrywood Drive. From Sam Sweet, 18 Elizabeth Place, Ariel. And next is from Denise Coyne at 1060 Chews Landing Road. The first is from Ira Eckstein, 1 Cedar Creek Drive, Laurel Springs, New Jersey. From Diane Hiller of 58 Lincoln Drive in Glen Oaks. Our next one is from Ira Eckstein from 1 Cedar Creek Drive in Glen Oaks. From Ron DeMoro of 2409 Harper Drive in Glendora. Ray Polidoro from the historic village of Ariel. And last is from Mr. Ira Eckstein at 1 Cedar Creek Drive.
Right.
This is something where, you know, I have clips that you can see where he starts reading the eGov and goes back in time to go and put the person's, address on record.
Our next GTE.gov emails from Reverend Father Deacon John. What is the policy on the ambulance of 36 Monroe Drive, Glen Oaks?
However, this particular person, no address, not sent in through the eGov system, and they knew it was eGov, no address, no response to the clerk, just all very suspect. You know?
Right, and I'm pretty sure that the Giselle Brown was not a resident of Gloucester Township. I think that was implied in Orlando's statement when he read that eGov. We tried to locate somebody named Giselle Brown with that spelling.
Yeah, in the area, we couldn't find anybody with that,
Right, in
with
close
that name.
proximity to Gloucester Township, and we couldn't find anybody anywhere close to us with that name.
Now, to be fair, somebody could have used the wrong name in there. However, the email address, that's the name from the email address. So they either had to create a whole different email address with a fake name. It's a lot of work to go through just to send in that statement.
Right.
We feel it was done more as a intentional way to bring the topic up as a campaigning point from the podium up there or from the dais, whatever you call it.
Right.
And residents themselves have been told that we are not allowed to talk about political topics.
Well, they did try to tell us at a meeting that politics was not allowed to be discussed at council meetings because council is a legislative body.
Is this governmental?
It is governmental.
It's not governmental.
It is governmental
Not
because
governmental.
it is because
Sam,
I think that
Sam, it's false. We can continue this conversation, Mr. Carlmer, another time. Okay, now we're getting into PACs. We're not talking about PACs. This is not governmental here. Okay, the bar is set higher for us. We should act in a certain way. And
That's
carry ourselves
exactly correct.
In a certain way.
And do you know why?
But it
because
does
you
not-
took an
Ms.
oath.
Ms. Coyne, I'm speaking here.
You all swore to uphold our right to do so. You chose to be a public servant. I did not. Therein lies the difference. Correct?
No,
Why not?
I disagree. You want to have the discussion out in the parking lot? We can have the discussion in the parking lot.
We have no say in our government if you people cannot impartially and fairly represent us. This is no longer a democracy.
We've never done this before. This chamber has always been a legislative body, and we're allowing it to become something else today. And that's a slippery slope.
It's because the council.
This is a legislative body here that discusses legislative things. A person's opinion is their opinion. They can voice it outside of this room.
And if it didn't deal, if our speech at meetings did not deal with legislative issues, we couldn't discuss it, which
Right.
is totally untrue and totally against our First Amendment rights. And the agendas for council meetings states right on there that you can discuss any topic during the second public portion of any meeting. So,
And somebody brought that up to them before. I mean, it's
I'm just going to read your own agenda to you. On public portion, it says public participation, which shall be any item the public chooses to address the township council. Any item. It doesn't say anything about legislative body, governmental body, any item. That's what your agenda says.
right.
if you want to go up there and read the Cat in the Hat for 5 minutes, you have every right to go do that. That's not a
You
legislative
absolutely do.
thing.
And we do have people that get up there and talk about
Cat in the Hat.
you know, things that are totally off the wall and have absolutely nothing to do with government in Gloucester Township, and they're allowed to talk. So Dan Hutchinson and Dave Carlemere and Orlando trying to tell us that we cannot discuss politics at a council meeting is absolutely
Another form of First Amendment
incorrect.
right suppression there.
Right. And again, most people wouldn't know that unless they went and did the research to find out that that is a violation of our First Amendment rights. It might even be considered prior restraint where a legislative body or a governmental body is trying to prevent people from speaking on a topic, which
Right.
is a
It's
big
just-
no-no when it comes to the First Amendment.
It's as if they were to come up with a policy or something that they put in place and try to enforce, just say, recording here at the municipal building. If they tried to put that into place, they're not allowed to do that. They can have
No.
a policy around no videoing or something like that, or no political speech. However, it does not trump your First Amendment right
Right.
to freedom of press, freedom of speech, and all that. So,
Right. Well, the reality is that these people are supposed to be our representatives, and they're supposed to be, you know, up there to represent us. And
and uphold our rights.
correct. And like I said in the prior video, not everybody in Gloucester Township is a Democrat. There are Republicans and independents who live here, and they have a voice also. And they should have the same right as everybody else to speak at a council meeting and to say whatever they want. And the reality is that the people sitting on the dais should want to hear from everybody and should want to know what the concerns are of all residents who live in Gloucester Township, and not just
Absolutely.
the Democratic ones. So,
So yeah, anyway, thanks for tuning into this. We just wanted to do a quick follow-up and just expand on some more topics here. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys soon.
and exercise your rights. Make sure you vote.